Hello, friends. We are back with the Chris and Ryan show. And today we are joined by the lovely Dina Celina. Hello, Dina. How are we?
Hello, I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anyone that doesn't know Dina, she's a woman of many talents. She's a certified nutritionist. She's a DJ. She's traveled across the world. She's lived across the world. She's owned restaurants. She's done tons. And she's comes with us today, jam packed full of information for you, and a really interesting story about the differences between cultures here in Norway. Really excited about this. Really excited. Chris, how are you?
I'm feeling good. The sun's shining, and I'm ready to get into this discussion and talk about Dina's life.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Wonderful. So, Dina, how we start everything off usually is we ask our guests to give us a rough sum up of early life, going through stuff that you've learned, actionable things that people can take away, so far. So, if we start from the beginning, life growing up in Norway and school life, how was that, and how does that compare to like the UK?
So yeah, I was born in Norway in 91.
Mm-hmm.
So school in Norway is very different from the UK. And it's strange because like when I moved to the UK, I moved here, I was coming up to 7 years this year. I was so surprised because the way you have like the way school is in the UK is I feel like it's very formal. Whereas in Norway is very
It is very formal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you do uniforms and stuff like that, and like in Norway you can wear whatever you want to wear. You can call your teacher by the first name. You're kind of friends with your teachers, and it's all a lot more relaxed and yeah, just very informal, you could say.
I think
Yeah.
I'd get a slap if I called my teacher by a first name. I had a math teacher called Mr. Taylor, and he was a bellend. He was such a dick. If I came into class and went, "All right, Ross," I'd probably get slapped.
I hope he's listening to this. I hope he's listening. Mr. Taylor, we're coming to get you. Ross Taylor.
Yeah, he probably wasn't really. We just never got on. He's probably a nice person.
So for me, that's like so strange. Like I could never imagine calling my teacher by their last name.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, at what point in your life do you call somebody by their last name? You know, even in
Yeah,
work, you would
exactly.
never call somebody by their last name. I think that's something that's I don't understand the reason for it. It's strange. You don't call anybody by their last name. You call them by their first name. That's why they're given a first name. It's like somebody's last name. It's like their clan name. It's like what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Why not call them by anybody? That's what I'm saying. I'm finished with that conversation. We should be calling everyone by their first name. That's why everyone's given a first name. But,
exactly.
Yeah. So you were saying
when he's listening to this.
You were saying that you call everyone by the first names. You can wear what you want.
Yeah.
What,
No, it's
what
like,
else is different?
So we have three different types of school depending on your age. So first school is from your 6 to 13, and 13 to 16, and 16 to 19. The first school is kind of primary.
Is that the same way that America? Yeah. Is that the same way as like America do it?
I'm not
do
sure.
They not have like you're like primary school, and then it's like middle school, and then high school?
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of that, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like after the law school, you don't have to go to the law school. You can decide to stop going to school when you're 16 then, but you could like when you finish that school, then that's when you go to university. Yeah. And during like the primary school, I'd say in Norway, it's kind of just normal. You're a kid,
standard
then
growing up.
And then the next school, that's the best school. That's like the school I went to. We had one class a week that the whole school gathered in the canteen, and we sang karaoke. Everyone sang karaoke. We had. It's so much fun. So much fun. Like, I know, it was just, wow. I don't even know why they did it, but it was like I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, just gathered the whole school in the canteen, and whoever wanted to sing karaoke could sing karaoke. We also had to work at the school. So you either have a job out of like working in the canteen or working in the reception of the school. So you would take incoming calls and transfer them to teachers or whoever is working there. And then you had to clean the canteen. You have to look after animals. We had rabbits and mice, I think, fishes, loads of different fishes. Yeah, like was loads of like you have to like start like learning how to work.
Life here, it sounds like your school system gives you the work experience, but working inside the school. Whereas here, we get sent out to like all over the place for work experience, rather than it being like sort of everything encompassed in school life. I think that's complete. That's how it should be done. Like allowing kids to work inside the school and building up sort of stuff from there, rather than forcing them to have to go out. I think it's good in both ways, but it's just an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. I worked a lot in the reception of the school. You can kind of pick which you would prefer to do, and if you had to go and work, you would miss the class. But that was absolutely fine.
Wow.
And it was also very artsy. You had to pretty much learn everything from painting to sculpting, like ceramic bowls to learning to play multiple instruments. Like everything that you can think of that's very creative.
Yeah,
and this is a normal
definitely
school.
Focuses.
So that was one time that me and Ryan just speak over each other there.
Carry on, Christopher. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me.
I was just gonna say this isn't like some kind of like private school. This is just what every.
This is just a normal
like.
school. Yeah, private schools aren't really a thing in Norway unless it's university. Then like it's more common to go to a private university, but like public school is everyone goes to public school.
Wow.
I don't think I know anyone who's gone to a private school in Norway.
Wow, that's so impressive. I can just imagine myself in the karaoke room singing in front of everyone with the rabbits and the mice crawling on top of me, singing and dancing.
I don't think that's too far away from the truth. I think you probably done that anyway without the karaoke room.
Yeah, I probably should have gone to school in Norway. I was going to ask you, did you learn anything about money at all? Is there anything that you learn about managing?
Oh, yeah, it's funny that you say, Rask. During that time in that school, so we are I think 15, probably 15 or 15. We learn how to do our taxes. We learn how to ask for mortgages. So you have to, the way we did it, you have to decide who's going to be your husband or wife. You decide a profession. You have this. You can decide whatever profession you want. However, there was a limit to it. You couldn't say you were a millionaire. There was like between 35 or 50k or something, which is like common to. That's like a normal wage to earn in Norway at that time.
Yeah.
I decided I was going to be a stripper. Because that I could I could make the maximum of the salary.
The woman wants the money. The woman wants the money.
Yeah. So, and then my husband, I think he was a fireman or something, and we had to write an essay of our lives and like how we asked for a mortgage and how we did our taxes and probably some other stuff as well. I can't remember any of it though. So I think
how did you meet your husband?
I don't know. I cannot remember what we said, but I remember the essay was quite funny, and I remember one of my teachers was just like, Dina, you're just so silly, but they thought it was funny too. And I find it so like, imagine that doing that in the UK. Would your teacher be okay you saying that you're going to be a stripper on an essay?
Well, it is a profession, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like it's
it's taboo here, isn't it? All that anything
yes, it is.
Sexually related, whether that's a profession or just talking about it in general, is very taboo when it comes to British culture, and especially in school.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking about it now, and it's like Britain is open in some ways than a lot of other countries. but also really closed off, like we were just discussing about that. So it's interesting to see the comparison. But Norway's definitely better overall, just from what you've said so far. 100%. So did you go to university in Norway, or what happened once you finished the fun school?
Yeah, well, the fun school didn't end there, because then you had another 3 years, and when you finished that school, which we would say maybe that's like college or high school or something like that, you party for 4 weeks.
Wait a minute. We need to hold on a sec. So wait, what? So this
is a long tradition for like many years. Even my dad did this. Okay.
Right.
So a year ahead, you start planning. You buy buses. You buy vans. You paint your vans either blue, red, green. We painted our gold, and I come into that. And people buy buses and vans and make them into party buses and vans.
The actual buses, real
buses? Actual buses, yeah. So
who pays for this?
Oh, we pay for this, and our parents. It's mental how much.
Right. It's like an actual thing, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's an actual thing. So we have something called, it's like a graduation thing. So we are called RUS, RUSS. And that means you're finished, like the last bit of school before university, if you're going to go to university. And we literally drank and party for 4 weeks. We wear this overalls that's either blue, red, or green or black, depending on what kind of what you were studying through that school. And we go to festivals every weekend. We drink in class. We kidnap people. We tie them to roundabouts. We throw eggs at them. We threw flour at them.
What are we hearing just now? What? You can drink in class. You can kidnap people. What?
Yeah, so we have
legally kidnap people and tie them to roundabouts.
Yeah, obviously just for fun. But
of course. Let's just get this straight. This is totally for fun.
Totally for fun. So this is like, we have 4 weeks. There's no limits. You can do whatever you want. Well, within reason. Obviously, do not break the law. But yeah, you can. It's weird. Like, how it's weird to even describe it, because we have like teams. We cruise. There's like big bus crews. There's a small van crews. We drive our buses and vans all over the country. Go to festivals. It's like any like music festival. We literally drink for 4 weeks straight. We don't change our clothes. We wear the same overalls for the 4 weeks. There's so many events. There's balls. There's there's so many different events we go to and do. And we have like a board of every school. I was the president of my school, hence why we painted our van gold. People have sex with everyone as well. It's crazy.
Chris, this sounds like it's for you, bro.
I just wish I could respawn as a child in Norway.
It's only the best time of school.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say from that. You just really hit us with a lot of information. So let's talk a bit about the sex stuff. So what age are you when you're doing this, and why is this a thing? What is it? I don't understand what this is. Like,
it's a graduation month.
Right,
so
okay. So it's like a ceremony for graduation, and you just don't have sex, right?
Yeah, it's mental. It's so you can also, every school has their like list of activities or tasks, or it's not a competition, but let's say if you had sex in the woods, you can get
this is just
you get like
right,
this.
So you have sex in the woods, yeah. It's like 10:30 in the morning, eh? It's 10:30. It's 10:30. It's 10:30. Hey, okay, so sex in the woods.
You get one of those. I can't remember the name for in English, but the ones that fall down the tree. The no, what's it called? Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like a thing that's on the trees, like
Sap.
Treehouse? What?
No, sap. It's the honey stuff that pours down a tree.
No, the
It's
actual like the hard bits.
Oh,
The one
the bark, tree bark.
No, the one that's on the. Oh, it doesn't
branches?
matter.
Wait, please explain it, because I'm really curious to find out what you mean. What about this tree? So.
So you know a tree.
Yeah.
And it has. It's like a big seed, and if that falls down, it will make more trees.
An acorn.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Acorn. So if you have sex in the woods, you get an acorn in your hat. And that means you completed that task, and then you can go over to different tasks. So it could be any. There's a lot of sex tasks, but there's everything from like wearing like pieces of bread as your shoes for a day, drink a bottle of wine in half an hour. No, yeah, half an hour. There's a lot of like
challenge.
Yeah, but it wasn't easy when you was 18. Well, for some maybe, but it was obviously we didn't want to make it the dangerous. But yeah, you decide.
And did you enjoy this? Was this enjoyable?
This is so much fun. Yeah, so much fun. You should look it up on YouTube. So Google Norwegian RUSS, and then you should have a look at how it is.
We will share a link to everyone for Norwegian RSS.
Yeah, just imagine you're at a festival, but it's going on for like 4 weeks.
Yeah, that sounds unreal. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We will talk about that once the show. I've just Googled something. Yeah, we will leave that until after. So I'm really
moving on for your focus partnering. This is that is a lot to take in, but we'll definitely share some stuff in the show notes that people can go and do their own digging into this. I'm sure some of it may not be allowed on YouTube. You may have to go into other places of the internet to find this, but you do you. So after the 4 weeks, this is the point when you move on to university.
Yeah. So my plan was to go straight to university, but I traveled to Tenerife the same year, and for some reason decided I'm going to move to Tenerife for a year. So as soon as school finished, that was my plan. So as soon as school finished, I had my summer, and then I moved to Tenerife in 2010, August 2010, and I ended up being there for 4 years. Now, during my 4 years in Tenerife, I probably had every job you can think of. I moved there, didn't have any plan of what I was going to do, where I was going to stay, what work I was going to get. I literally just packed my bags, brought my dog on an airplane to Tenerife, and
is that legal?
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, you have to call the airline first and say you're bringing a dog with you and pay for that and get vaccines.
Just rock up to the airplane with your dog, just being like, "Yeah, Poppy's coming on board with me. Don't worry about it. We've sorted this."
What happens? Yes, I was just gonna say something I thought of when when you're on an airplane and your ears pop. So Poppy the dog's ears will be popping the whole journey. How do dogs handle that? When you're on a plane and you're 30,000 feet.
I'm not sure. She was absolutely fine. It was like a 5-hour flight because Tenerife is quite far away. But she had to be in the box.
Okay.
Yeah, so she couldn't obviously go out. She wasn't enjoying it that much, of course, but it went really well. She just sat next to the seat. next to me. So
Fair.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you land in Tenerife.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Land in Tenerife. Have a wee realization of what the fuck did I just do? I was like, I was crying my eyes out. I think I didn't really think of what I was doing, and I'm a kind of a person who just, if you put your mind to it, just do it. And I was very like, I'm moving to Tenerife. Don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm doing it. And then I moved there. I flew there, and then I came off the flight, and I was just like, what the fuck? And I was bursting my eyes out. I was calling my friends. I was just like, if there was a flight back to Norway right now, I would have gone on it. But that
That's
eased itself.
intense,
Yeah, it was so intense because I was 19, wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And just, I feel like it was just like hit with a realization. And then,
How long had you been planning to go there for?
I think I decided maybe around April, May time the same year, during my 4 weeks of partying.
And then when did you go to Tenerife? What month did you go to Tenerife?
In August.
Oh, right. So like pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So just packed up my flat and moved to Tenerife. And but it was first few days was a bit scary. I felt like really low, and then I was just thinking, well, you're here now. You have to go. Yeah, you just have to do something about it. You can't be feeling sorry for yourself because there's nothing to be sorry for. You're in the sunshine.
You literally just like slapped yourself and was like, right, let's get on with this.
Yeah. Remember, I was keeping a wee diary to like write how I felt every day, and to see how it kind of like developed. And I don't know if I still have that diary somewhere. It was quite interesting to read it, but I remember reading back at like years back, and it was just like, oh, I'm feeling so sad today. And then a week later, I'm like, I'm amazing. I feel so good, and everything is like, I'm enjoying myself a lot. Like within a week, I got an apartment. I got a job. It was a job as a shop girl in a bar, but I got myself on the feet. Exactly. So yeah, I did that for another 2 months of partying and drinking every single day, as you do when you work on the strip. Yeah, and then I went from job to job to job until I opened my restaurant back in 2012. Yeah.
And how long had you been on Tenerife for?
Oh, that's Ryan's rubbish signal coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the question is, how long had you been?
Point off. Yeah. The opening the restaurant.
Yeah, Ryan, your signal's totally.
That point.
Your signal just went there completely.
Yeah.
But the question was, how long had you been working before you opened the restaurant? I think
2 years.
2 years. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's still quite a long time. Well, but just to be doing different things. And were you sure, or were you unsure about what you wanted to do, or were you just?
Yeah. So when I was back in Norway, I was I thought I was gonna go straight into like business school. I was gonna be a businesswoman. I was gonna start my own business. That's always been a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to Tenerife, and I had like 2 gap years, you could say, in a way. And then I realized, and I thought, you know what, I need to start doing something that I really want to do. That's mine. I worked in plenty of restaurants and bars, so I had loads of experience. The guy I was with at the time was a manager of a bar, and they were doing really well. So I got a lot of inspiration and advice from him. So I thought, let's just open a bar. Went in very naive. Thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was, but that's what kind of hit me. Like, oh shit, this is a lot of work. But I enjoyed the whole process, and like I didn't speak a word of Spanish. Had to kind of like teach myself how to speak Spanish to get like paperworks, and get all like suppliers and stuff. Had to learn how to hire people. And I was like 20 or 21 at this point. So I was very young as well. I remember I was interviewing people that was in their 50s, and I just felt like, is this intimidating? Is this weird? Is this, what is this? Because I just felt like I was so young. Like 20, 21 is very young to open your own business, especially a restaurant in a foreign country. But I worked for like 13, 14 hours every day for the first few months, and the restaurant was a success. Like, it was number 1 on TripAdvisor. Everyone loved it. It was such a great experience, but then I got really bored really quickly. I had only had for 2 years. I think a year in, I was just like, I think I'm done. That's one of the things with me. Like, as soon as I have had so many different jobs, and I tried so many hobbies and everything, and if I master it or if it's good, I tend to jump on the next project or the next task or the next opportunity or challenge.
There seems to be one thing that you do consistently that I think a lot of people that are listening could grasp and sort of do themselves, is you just, rather than thinking about things too much, you just like chuck yourself at opportunity, and you also seem to create opportunities for yourself really well, but just naturally as a person.
Yeah, I feel like there's been times in my life I've been waiting for an opportunity or waiting for the right time, and then the months goes by and you're like, nothing is coming unless you're doing it. Like, you have to create your own opportunities. You have to create your own challenges. And it's completely fine of like not being afraid, or like, I have a lot of like self-doubt and fear sometimes, and I've been like pushing away work for so long because I'm like, am I good enough? Is it gonna be good enough? Am I wise enough to do this? But then you realize, as soon as you start doing something, you will learn more on the way, like while you're doing it. And I think like
imposter syndrome, isn't it?
Exactly.
I had the same thing through starting the design stuff that I was starting, and when I done nutrition and stuff last year as well. It was just that whole feeling constantly of you're not good enough, or that you just talk yourself down out of things when there's absolutely no need. In reality, you are good enough, but you let a little head in your mind, the little voice in your head tell you otherwise.
Yeah, I feel like especially last few years after I graduated studying nutrition, I'll come to that. But imposter syndrome has been a lot on my mind. Like, even though you have all the qualifications and stuff, you just I don't know where it comes from or why it is, but I feel like now I'm in a much better place, and I know that what I know, I have to put it like, I feel a lot better around it.
You've got that belief in yourself and what you know, but you've got that through going away and actually doing the actionable stuff, like just chucking yourself into it and doing it, which has caused you to build up that belief rather than sitting waiting for something to come and not building up that belief system.
No, completely.
Wonderful. So this is you getting to the restaurant. You're now bored of the restaurant 2 years later. What's next for Dina?
Well, so I get bored of the restaurant and I think I need to sell it. And I was also thinking I maybe need to get out of Tenerife. I'm kind of felt like I was done with it. Like, Tenerife is lovely, but it's very laid back. I needed a bit busier lifestyle, if you may say. And I was currently, at the time, when I was having all these thoughts, I put the bar on sale. I'm thinking, maybe I should move to the UK. Maybe I should go to university. So I thought, all right, that's probably my plan. But I wasn't sure what I wanted to study. I wasn't too keen on going to business school. That was my initial idea, because I felt like I already done business whilst working at learn. I felt like I needed to expand my knowledge. Yeah.
And going back to Norway wasn't a thought in your head at any point, going home?
No, it was the first year I was in Tenerife. I was planning to come back home. I can't remember why that didn't happen. But going back to Norway, I wasn't wanting
Not
to.
feeling it. Yeah.
No.
What about family? You not miss family and visit? What happened with
Yeah,
that?
as like my dad came to visit me a lot. I didn't travel that much back to Norway when I was in Tenerife. But I had family and friends coming and see me. But I'm a person, like, I'm not the biggest family person regardless, and I feel like I always want to go out and do my own thing and explore the world. And so like I see my dad, which I'm really close to. I see him very often, pre-COVID. And I see I go back to Norway once or twice a year. But I've been going back for like 3 or 4 weeks or 5 weeks a year. So I'm there quite often now. But yeah, no, it wasn't something I wanted to do. And then I was also preparing for a bikini fitness competition when I was thinking of all my next life choices. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to study at university. And a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, you should become a personal trainer." And I was like, I don't really want to do that. It's not really my thing. And then it kind of just hit me, and I'm just like, I should start nutrition, because like nutrition has been a part of my life for like many, many years. I started weightlifting and drinking protein shakes at like age 15. Lost 10 kilos the first 2 months or something, because I was a bit of a chubby child. And my restaurant as well was a wine bar. It was like a wine bar, but it also had like lovely, healthy, fresh food. So health and eating and nutrition was like always been like a big part of my life. So I was like, oh, start nutrition. And then I remember I was going to research what it involved. And then I saw it was like biology, chemistry, pharmacology, genetics. It was very science. It's a science degree. It was just science modules and very little about diet and nutrition. And I was thinking, oh, that's not really my field. I'm not really good at. I wasn't good at biology in school. I'd never been interested in science. And then I kind of like put the thought away for a little bit, and then I came back to it, and I thought, you know what, let's do it. What was the worst thing can happen? You'll fail. Well, try something new.
And had you been to the UK beforehand?
Yes.
Before you decided to come across here?
Yes. So I initially first wanted to move to London, but I have 2 pets and I want to live alone, and I had a student budget, so that wasn't really on the cards.
Yeah, London's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah. But I was like really focused. I'm gonna go to London. This is where I'm gonna go. And I remember my dad said to me, like, you can't afford living alone in London with 2 pets. Like, there's no way. And I did try to find flats, and I realized that was not gonna happen. So I thought, right, put London aside. Where else can I go? And I was like looking on the map, and I was looking at Edinburgh. I'm like, oh, Edinburgh, because I've been to Edinburgh before once for a long weekend, and I absolutely loved it. It was one of my best like going away trip to like stay holidays I've ever done. And I was just like, Edinburgh is. It was. I wasn't even a thought. It was like, I'm gonna move to Edinburgh. So I looked up schools, universities in Edinburgh, and then I applied. I moved here before I got accepted to university, so it could be that I moved here and then I wouldn't go to university. But I got myself a job before that. I moved here a week later, got accepted. I did that job for a little bit and then I quit it, and then I studied nutrition for 4 years.
What job how did you line the job up? Did you just come over and just get a job, or was it a pre-made thing? Or?
No, I worked as a pension administrator for Capita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very dull job. Like a 9-to-5 desk job is definitely not my thing.
I was about to say that's definitely not you.
Yeah. No, I went to a recruitment agency, I think, and they just like, oh, it was a temp job, I think. But I remember speaking to my manager, and he was going to offer me a full-time position, but I'm very glad I managed to get into uni. Yeah. So I studied nutrition for 4 years. So I graduated, I think it will be 3 years this summer. Yeah.
Oh, you graduated 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And it was 4 years worth of like
Or yeah,
education.
yeah.
And how did you find it? You know how you were talking about it was science. Did you enjoy it, or was it like, were you like, nah, this isn't really for me, or what? What was it like going through that?
Yeah, so the first few months and all the modules I was taking, I didn't understand anything. I felt a little bit lost. I was just like, what am I doing? Because this is not me.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what the turning point was, but I just suddenly loved it and understood it. And I was watching a lot of YouTube videos explaining things, and it all came to me like so easily. And now I'm like, I can read research papers and stuff and understand everything of it. And it's just,
wow.
It was one of those things that I didn't believe I could do it, and then I just tried, and then it was easier than I thought. Because I said, like, science was never my thing, never ever like been anything that I've like enjoyed or looked into, or
yeah, it just, science was never for you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, now I love it. It's like a massive part of my life now. It just shows you, like, sometimes you don't even know what you enjoy or what you like, or what interests you.
Yeah,
so
that's what.
Carry on.
There it goes again. The interruption between Chris and Ryan. I was just going to say, a lot of people, we speak about this on an earlier episode, is like trying to find what you enjoy in life is just about experiencing different things. And then you'll know what you like and what you don't like from doing different things. But it's important just to do different things, because you'll never ever know. So yeah, it can never be a bad thing doing something you don't enjoy, because you'll know that you don't want to do it again. So anyway, Ryan, what were you going to say?
Well, funnily enough, Chris, that is exactly what I was going to say. Who would have thought it?
I was going to ask, so Dina, you finish uni, and what is the next step that happens after that? Was starting up your own business straight away, or what was the kind of like, it's the word I'm looking for?
The transition,
what was the path?
from like
the transition.
Yeah. So second year in uni, I kind of realized that I need to start to get some experience in nutrition, like actually working with clients. And I had a really good job at the moment. I was working for a hair restoration clinic, and it was like a really good job that suited my needs. But I thought, you know what, I need to quit that job, and I need to get some experience, or try to get some experience in nutrition.
A what clinic? Sorry.
Sorry, a hair restoration clinic.
Oh, hair
restoration.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So a hair transplant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need that yet, which is good.
Well, I know the best clinic for it if you need to. Oh, your hairline looks great.
Yeah, you're fine. Mine's I don't even want to show you my forehead. It's huge.
Yeah. So what I did, I literally emailed every nutritionist in Edinburgh area, or just outside.
The graft is real.
Yeah, I was just like, hey, I'm a uni student studying nutrition. Could I be your intern or shadow you or anything? Could you help me anything? And then one replied, and her name is Amanda Hamilton. And I started working for her a couple of weeks later, and I still work for her to this day. So she's one of UK leading nutritionists. She's had her own TV shows in the past. She used to be a broadcaster, and she does retreats around the UK and Europe. And she's written a few books. I've helped written one of her books. I've helped some of that. And I learned a lot from her. So much I learned from her, because she's been a nutritionist for nearly 2 decades now, I think. And we become really good friends. It was like, if I didn't call or didn't message her 5 years ago, like I don't know where I would take nutrition. Different. Yeah. So after university, I kind of like started working a little bit for myself, and I've been quite on and off, because I've obviously done other jobs next to it. I've started DJing, as Ryan mentioned earlier. I've been working with events. I've done Airbnb things. I've had so many other jobs in the last 5 years as well. But it wasn't until last year I started putting more effort into my business and having more clients now, and really focused on building my nutrition business bigger. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Wonderful. I want to go back and touch on the Amanda Hamilton thing, and it's just another showcase of like just putting the action in. Like, you decided, I'm going to message every single nutritionist in Edinburgh to try and get what I need, and going ahead and doing it, and that paid off because you're still working for her now, and you built up like a good relationship with this person.
Yeah.
And that's just off the back of deciding, fuck it, I'm going to message every single one of them.
Yeah. And like, she was the only one who replied as well. I don't know how many I messaged. I think maybe 10. I don't even know. But I literally, everyone I could find in Google, I just emailed them. But you only need one yes, you know.
Yeah.
You can send out, you can ask so many questions. Well, you only need one yes. That's all you need.
It's really impressive, that, because, well, it doesn't sound impressive just to say you message people, but just that one action has led on to what you've been able to do. So I think that's like, people, don't appreciate what just reaching out to other people can do for you or for anybody. Just one simple message can change your life. And having I think it's a confidence thing as well, because for me, something like that would be easy, but I can imagine for a lot of people it wouldn't be easy to just send messages out and just like ask for a job. I know a lot of people that would find that difficult. So hope that gives people the confidence to just do it.
Yeah, but like, what's the worst thing that can happen? You either get a no or no reply, and that's that's not a bad response, especially asking for, if you're a uni student, you should go and get as much experience in your field as soon as possible, because you should like start to learn like because the way uni is and working is very different. Like, uni gives you all the tools, but it doesn't actually teach you how you're going to do your job. So it was one time as well, I was watching this a chiropractor on YouTube for about a year. I learned so much from him, and I thought, I just need to meet him. So I found his Facebook or email or something, and I messaged him saying, hey, I'm a nutritionist student. I've been watching your YouTube videos for a year now. Can I come and shadow you in your clinic? And he messaged back, and he's like, of course you can. I always have loads of people coming to shadow me, so no problem at all. Just let me know when you're coming. So this guy lives in California, in Huntington Beach.
Oh, I thought this guy's like Glasgow or something. Right.
No.
All right. I thought it was just a trip over the M8, but it's a trip over the transatlantic ocean. Right.
So a couple of months later, I get a ticket to California, and I fly to California and go to Huntington Beach, and I shadow this guy in his clinic for 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah, and that just shows you, like, he's very big in America and on YouTube and stuff. But if you just ask, you never know what answer he's gonna get. And I learned so much from this guy as well.
And what was his name? What did you?
It's Dr. John Bergman.
Dr. John Bergman.
Bergman.
Oh,
Bergman.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. I followed him for ages. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Wow. So
That's
you
mental.
went, you shadowed him. Well, in fact, let's just go back a step. You went to California. Even that's a pretty big thing to do. Just to go and like, just, I don't know. I just like, it seems like even for me, that's like mad. That's one thing that I'm taking from you listening to this, Dina, is I'm going to travel more for sure. When all the planes open back up, I'm going to travel for sure, because I haven't been outside of Europe. Me and Ryan went to Berlin. I've been to different parts of France and Spain, but that's really been about it. Not really going anywhere else apart from that. And not that those were bad like places to go. They're good places, but just not going away frequently enough. Too much work. So people need to work less and enjoy traveling more. That's my
exactly, yeah.
So how long were you in California for?
10 days.
That was it.
10 days. Yeah, so I flew there by myself, stayed in a really weird Airbnb, and then just went to his clinic every day. Made some friends there. I met a friend with another man who had his own restaurant, so I had some people to eat dinner with every day. So that I'm still in contact with. And yeah, just it was really, really great life experience. Like I traveled, well, obviously I traveled by myself, moving to different countries and stuff, but like going on an actual kind of holiday by yourself was, especially to America as well, it was the first time I went there. It was very exciting. Like I love going exploring and doing things by myself and doing things that maybe people think will be a bit, oh, I don't know if I could do that. Say another example, when I moved to Edinburgh, I didn't have any friends, didn't know anyone here. I went out to bars by myself, like just because I didn't know anyone, and I wasn't in the workplace I was in wasn't really my type of people. So I was like, well, I have to make friends somehow. So I just went out by myself.
Who was the first person you met? Who was the first person in Edinburgh you became friends with?
Who was the first person? Let me think.
And did you approach them, or did they approach you?
Well, I think it was a group of guys. One of the guys I haven't spoken to in a while, but we stayed friends for like many years after. I think he's maybe moved away from Edinburgh now. But yeah, I think I can't remember, like, it feels like it's nearly 7 years ago.
Wow. So yeah, quite a while ago then, yeah.
But yeah, I think it was that group of guys. I was actually staying in Dunfermline at the time, and I can't remember. It was a messy one. I can't remember getting home. I remember.
Yeah, it sounds like a messy one. It sounds a little bit messy, to be honest with you. Yeah, we can leave that one. We can leave that story for off camera. But yeah, the two things that I think we should talk about or touch on is the nutrition business stuff and what that is like for you and what you actually do with that. And the second thing I wanted to touch on was social media as well, and like the negative impact and also the positive impact that social media has on people, specifically younger people as well. When
it comes to health and things, because there's so much misinformation and there's so much different information, and there's everything online, and it's difficult to figure out what is right and what isn't right. Figuring out how people can actually do that themselves rather than just relying on random articles they see on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we'll start with the nutrition stuff. So what is the nutrition stuff that you actually do? What do you help clients achieve? And you know, what is a little bit more detail about what you do on that side of things?
Yeah, so what I mainly do is help people who has maybe gut issues or other health conditions, or weight loss is obviously the main thing people come to me for. But my main focus with every client I have is to improve people's health.
Yeah.
Because if you improve your health, weight loss or whatever your goal is, it kind of come and follow. It just goes hand in hand. Because you can be thin or slim and be incredibly unhealthy, you know. So my main focus is just making sure everyone reset like how their mindset is, because everyone's like, oh, I have to go on a diet, I have to be full on counting calories, I can't eat carbs, I can't eat this, that, you know. There's, because the media is like just bombarding us with all this different what's good and what's bad for you, but they're not nutritionists. Remember, the journalists who writes that, they might be finding a research or another article says, show that if you're eating high carbs you will gain fat, and then it will just twist the words and make it into a clickable article to be read, you know. And so I'm trying to like change people's mindset about like, if you focus on your health, like try to eat all the foods that's good for you. Like weight loss would be so easily, if you want to build muscle, it's easy. It's like when it comes to health and nutrition, it's actually really simple. You just go back to basic. But I think we all make it so complicated right now, and it's been like so complicized. Is that a word?
I'm not too sure, but you're trying to say like
Maybe.
complicated. Basically, it's
Yeah.
difficult, and people make it difficult. One thing I remember you said to me before, which I thought was really a cool piece of advice, was at least I think you'd said it to me, was not to try to lose fat, but to just live a healthy lifestyle. You know, people
Yeah.
focus on like, oh, I want to get rid of fat, but really what you should be focusing on is living a healthy lifestyle, and in turn you will lose fat. You know.
Exactly. So, like, give you an example. I'm currently going through a juice fast, and I have another 11 people doing it. So the juice fast includes there's a pre-fast, a 7-day of just normal eating, but maybe a bit different from what most people eat to prepare yourself for the fast, and then you do 3 or 5 days fast, and then you do 7 days post-fast. And the first 7 days, just normal eating. There's no like you're not hungry. You eat until you're full. You feel good. And most of my clients, they lost 5 pounds in just a week just by changing a little bit into their eating habits. And it's just focusing on their health. And yeah, because when you stop like obsession about like, oh, what's the sale saying? Like, am I losing enough weight every week? If you just start focusing on your health, like, am I improving my health? Do I sleep better? Do I have more energy? Do I feel more focused? You're gonna lose the weight. And also another thing is that don't look at the scale, because you can do 1 week of eating, and if you train, that scale might be exactly the same, but you might lost a bit of fat, but gain a bit of muscle. So there's just going back to the basics, and stop listening to influencers or the media or anyone who doesn't have a proper qualification, a proper degree in nutrition. Just don't listen to them. Like, nutritionist is not a protected title, and anyone can do a course online and tell they're a nutritionist, which I think is wrong. I don't think it's wrong that people can, of course, not go to uni and educate themselves a lot and really understand the subject without going to university, and still be able to help people with their weight loss or whatever. But I think they should be called themselves something else, so we can kind of clarify who has the qualifications and who's just done a course or self-taught or whatever. But there's one thing, like, I am a registered nutritionist. Anyone who has a bachelor's degree can get like a nutter or R nutter behind their name, which I have. So that's a good way of seeing who's got proper qualifications and who doesn't.
Amazing.
Ha ha ha! Ditto. Wait. Yeah, so I had a question about everything you were talking about, Dina. So I think it would help clarify things for a lot of people who are confused. What would you say personally, as a trained medical professional in nutrition, what are the basics of a healthy lifestyle? Like, how can people be healthy? Because like we've been talking about, there is so much misinformation. There's so many influencers that are pushing their own agenda to make money, and it's all very confusing. What are the main components that make up a healthy lifestyle?
Well, there's multiple ones, but if you're looking at food, like, stop buying food that's made in the fabric. Some is okay, but like, don't buy ready meals. If you're making tomato sauce, make it from scratch. Like, try to spend. Just trying to say this. Like, I try to spend most of your time in the kitchen, preparing stuff, because when you start cooking food, that's when your digestive system is starting to wake up. And because when you smell something, you realize you know when you smell something that's really nice, your mouth starts to water, and you start feeling hungry, and that's your digestive system like waking up. So if you make something that takes 2 seconds in a microwave or in the oven, you skip in that process, and that's a very crucial process for optimal digestion. So just starting cooking like everything from scratch, and it doesn't have to take long. It can take 5-10 minutes. I think a lot of what people think is, well, like, oh, I don't have time for it, but you don't have to cook dinners that takes an hour or half an hour. There's so many recipes out there that is like quick and simple. And just incorporate more fruit and veg, more plant food in your diet. The more, the better. Like fiber should be in the top of the food chain. Like high fiber foods is what you should focus on. Yep. And you can pretty much eat as much high fiber food as you want without putting any weight on, because there's literally, it comes to a point where you can't eat anymore because you're too full, because it's bulky food, you know. Yeah, just going a bit back to basic. And even though, yes, of course, you can sometimes throw a pizza in the oven or do quick things and quick lunches or dinners. That's absolutely okay. But your majority of your eating should be a meal that's prepared from scratch.
Yeah.
And what do you think about, to kind of round off the nutrition stuff? It doesn't, well, I don't know if it does or doesn't cover under the nutrition stuff, but like sleep and exercise and drinking water and stuff like that, all of these things are what create a healthy lifestyle. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, so sleep is so underrated. Like, sleep is so important. You should be getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a day. And that doesn't mean from when you enter the bedroom to when you leave it. It means from when you fall asleep until you wake up. That should be 7 to 9 hours. And a lot of people neglect that, or they have trouble sleeping. Like myself, I've had so much trouble sleeping since COVID. Like, I've been waking up, have had like broken sleep, and I'm the person who should sleep or normally sleeps throughout the night and never wake up. But since COVID, because I was like so much is on my mind, and I think a lot of people are experiencing the same. I was actually listening to a podcast not long ago about a sleep expert, and saying like people are sleeping more, but they're not sleeping as good. Or they're dreaming more as well, because of people process a lot during their sleep as well. So sleeping, like trying to do anything that you can to improve your sleep. And even if you can only sleep 6 or 5 hours a day, try to like add another 15 minutes is better enough than not adding nothing. And exercise as well. You have to get your body like flowing, and like when you move, you turn on anti-inflammatory genes. So any like small stressors on the body, if that's going into cold water or having a cold shower or exercising, is turning all your anti-inflammatory genes, which improves your immune system. It also helps obviously for weight loss, to build muscle, which is really important. It also helps you sleep better if you exercise. Apparently, there was a study that if you exercise in the morning, you will sleep better at night. But if you exercise in the afternoon, you will lose more weight. So
interesting.
Yeah, but then again, you have to do what works for you, what you feel is good. Even though a study says, "Oh, this is how you should do it," or this is the most optimal way of doing it, doesn't mean that works for you. But sometimes you never know. I used to hate training in the morning, and I only train at night. Now I prefer training in the morning. If I don't train in the morning, I feel weird. And it's just like to try to like implement new habits, even if it's starting small. And that's the thing. You don't have to go start on Monday and your whole diet's going to change, your whole lifestyle is going to change. That's not how it should be done, because most of the times it doesn't work. And I think most of us have tried and done that before as well. You go on cold turkey on X, Y, and Z, and then you're going to work out 5 days a week, and then you come to day 3 or 4 and you're like, oh fuck this is too much. And just like starting like doing small habit changes is the best way of changing your lifestyle. Because you can't, I think as well, a lot of people think, oh, I should just do this diet for a wee while and then I will lose the weight and then I'll feel better and then I can go back to my normal eating. And that's not how it works either. You have to, if you're going to start, if you're not happy with yourself, if it's your weight, if it's your health, whatever it is, you have to change your whole lifestyle. But it doesn't mean you have to be a drastic change or a dramatic change. It could be a very small baby steps. And even if you just do that, if you start with one thing, even if it's just start drinking 1 more glass of water a day, adding 15 more minutes to your sleep, just start exercising, or start adding another day or another 5 minutes to your exercising, all those little things goes a long way and helps a lot. And I think people doesn't realize, like, even if it's just 5 minutes or a glass of water, they think that's not going to have a big impact, but it will, and it really will.
There's a term in the fitness world called progressive overload, and it's like building up. Like, for example, if you want to lift heavier, or you're building up over a course of time, like over 4 weeks, you'll add maybe like 2 kilos or something to your squat or whatever. It's like progressive overload. You're slowly over time added more weight so that you increase what you're able to do. And the more and more that I speak to people and think about things, that term progressive overload works for everything in life. Literally everything. Is rather than just chucking on, trying to go in for everything at once, it's so much better and easier and increases the longevity of things if you just add little small increments to things over a period of time, whether that is just changing little parts of habits, whether that's adding a little bit more veg to every meal, whether that's drinking a little bit more water. It happens. Everything in life it applies to.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking about something as well, like, you know how a lot of people go on diets and stuff like that, diets that last, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, but that people go on diets that last maybe a month or whatever it is, a keto diet or what are all these different types of diets that there are, the pancake diet, the donut diet, you know what I mean, whatever the diet is. And I just thought to myself there, if somebody's aiming to lose weight and they go on a diet that lasts whatever time period it lasts for, that isn't a good thing, because surely, you know, when the diet finishes, when the plan finishes, what do you do after it? Do you keep with that diet, or do you go back to the way? So I see what you mean about when you're not, like, if somebody's changing their diet, it's not really changing their diet, they're changing their whole entire lifestyle. It's a completely, you know, to be healthy, you need to eat healthy forever. It's not just something you do for 4 weeks and you lose weight and then that's it. It's a forever thing. So.
Yeah. But like, there's so many like diet plans that that's quite good and teach you how to like incorporate more fruit and veg in your diet, or more like plant foods, higher fiber foods, and it's like, it's a 4 weeks or a 3-week diet. But I think the goal with that is like, you're doing the 4 weeks and then you realize, oh, how good you're feeling, how much more energy you're having, and then you should just continue. Like, it's not a start and an end. It's just take what you learn from those 4 weeks and implement into your life. Because some people prefer to have like, oh, I need to have a diet plan. I need to know exactly what I'm having and what I can't eat and what I can eat. But then it's just you just have to like teach yourself throughout those 4 weeks or 3 weeks, or, you know, I'm not talking about like the fad diets that's low calorie or anything. I'm talking about the good ones that you find in a lot of books at the moment. When it comes to like plant food and stuff, it's all about like learning to cook. Like that's a hinder for a lot of people as well. They don't know how to cook properly, you know, or they don't know what spices to use, or they find that healthy food tastes bad or boring because they don't know how to season it correctly. And it's just that as well. And just obviously there's every person has this different what's the word, struggle on different points. Some people just don't know how to cook. Some people just feel like they can't stop eating the bad foods. Some people are just very uneducated. There's so many different ways, but it's just like start small. Just simplify it, because don't overcomplicate it, because it's so complicated already, and it's actually just very simple if you go back to basic.
If you were to give one thing for everyone to do who's looking to improve their health right now, just one thing to change, what would it be?
Add more vegetables to your meals.
Boom. There you go, people.
Simple. It is simple, you know?
Yeah.
It sounds like what you're trying to say is that what we're talking about is, I know you were talking earlier on about how the degree is so involved in science, but really at the end of the day, for people to lose weight and to have a healthy lifestyle, it is quite simple. You know, you get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, drink 2 liters of water or whatever it is that the recommended amount is, eat healthily, exercise. You know, it's like just basic, easy stuff and a lot of people struggle to do it. So I see what you mean about, you know, just keep it basic and just Ryan, obviously the progressive overload, the 1% better every day. You know, you just get better and better at it every day. So, my last point I wanted to ask about is social media that we talked about earlier on, how you think that's like positive and what the negatives of social media are, and obviously the influence that people have over what they see on social media, and how that it's basically, you know, it's changing a generation, you know, our entire generation, because of what people are seeing and what they feed themselves through social media. Because for people, I think the average person spends like 5 hours a day on social media, which is a long time to spend your waking day, you know, on your phone. And I'm just curious to see what your thoughts are on it, and if you think it's good or if you think it's bad.
So it has its positive and negative, and I've seen a lot of TikToks where I assume girls are filming what they're eating, and it looks healthy, but it's only like 800 calories or 1,000 calories, and they're saying this is healthy weight loss. Follow my journey. Also teaching other people that's watching this, that thinking that 1,000 calories or 800 calories a day is good, that can have like very, very bad effects on your metabolism. That slows your metabolism way down, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people struggle to lose weight, because they start really low on the calories, and then they lose a bit of weight, and then they hit fat loss plateau, and they can't eat less because they're already so low. So that's really bad. And you see a lot of influencers that promotes detox teas, and which is like laxative teas, or
I see this all the time. It's part of like some pyramid scheme. They
like
try and
Herbalife or Arbonne or any of
try
these.
to get you to sell it all and all that.
And like most of the before and after photos are literally just taken 5 minutes apart, you know, just different angle, different lighting, especially when it comes to like commercial stuff like detox teas. Like I tried it before. I know how it is, and it's not very nice, and it's not going to do anything to your weight. You're just going to make you shit. So that's very bad, because like I still feel like it's better now, because you have so many nutritionists and dietitians on Instagram and social that promotes healthy eating, and saying you don't have to restrict yourself, because you don't have to restrict yourself, but you have to learn like to eat mainly. It's to obviously eat what's good for you, but you can still have, you know, the wine and the chocolate and the cakes or the pizza or whatever you like. Like I drink so much wine. I love wine. But like if I want a pizza now, I order from the local Italian restaurant. I wouldn't order from a chain restaurant or buy a frozen pizza, or I make my own pizza, which is a lot healthier option. And I don't eat the whole pizza, because I can't fit that. You know, like in most people, when they buy a pizza, they will eat the whole pizza. And I used to could eat the pizza on the side and that, and you feel awful afterwards. You don't feel nice at all.
Like
but
straight to bed and straight for a nap.
I can tell you something that you might find funny, actually. Like during lockdown, me and Paddy Derego, kind of became friends again after 4 years, or started DJing together. Same with Ryan. We used to go up to St Andrews every week and rekindle this friendship. And every Friday and Saturday we would get a large Domino's sides and a dessert for about 3 months, every single weekend. And get the big sauce that you get. And we found out that the sauce alone has 700 calories in it. And that's all I'm saying about that. 4 months, don't do it.
Oh yeah, I can never even imagine eating from Domino's or a chain restaurant. It just like, because your taste buds change as well when you start eating healthy. It changes so much, and you're so sensitive to like whatever they put in fast food or junk food. And with the pizza, like just have half, or you know, don't have the full bit, or wait a little bit. Hey, you will have pizza for breakfast the next morning. That's what I normally do. If I don't eat I normally don't eat the full one, and then I just have it for lunch or breakfast the next day. So I have 2 days of pizza. Brilliant. Hey, and I don't feel bad. Yeah.
The only problem with that is when I say to Paddy, "Can we go halfers on a pizza?" He's like, "Nah, I'm eating my own pizza." So kind of left out there. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Pizza over 2 days is definitely a good idea.
without like having the guilt or gaining weight. You know, it's very simple, basic logic. But I think we're just like, oh, well, it's Friday, you can treat yourself, and you always want to eat everything. And sometimes I'm like that as well. Sometimes I'll buy packets of Haribo and crisps, and but I don't eat all of it. I don't munch as much as I used to. Before I could eat so much, and now you start to learn how your body is responding, and you start to feel like, oh, the way I'm feeling when I eat better or don't eat a whole pizza, it feels a lot better than when I eat all of it. Yeah. But yeah, going back to what you said about social. So yeah, there's a lot of positive vibes from nutritionists and dietitians and personal trainers and stuff on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, which is really good. And I think that is just, I think it's more of the positivity than the negativity. We're still going to have, if people are uneducated, they're still not going to be sure, or maybe be confused. They're still not going to maybe understand everything about it, I think because I don't know, do you even teach nutrition back in school? Like, no, there's nothing.
We have home ec where we get taught how to cook, and it's chicken chow mein. It's some sort of pie, and it's absolutely brutal. You have to pay
you have to pay for it as well. Cheeky bastards! They make you pay for it. They make you pay for the food that you cook. I think that's terrible. We pay all this tax to the government, and they can't even pay for the kids to
There's straight up zero nutritional training in school whatsoever. Nothing.
Yeah. That's in Norway we have nutritional training. We have in that cooking class. We don't have to pay for it, and we make really nice, healthy food as well, and some cakes and stuff. But they teach us everything about the basic of the micro and macronutrients. Macronutrients is like protein, fat, carbohydrates, and micronutrients is like vitamins and minerals. So we got taught that, and always about calories and stuff like that in school. But I think that was pretty much it. But that's the basic of it that everyone should know.
It's crazy the difference between the two schools and how the education works. I think for any type of person, no matter what you are, if you go to Norway, you're going to come out a better whole-rounded human at the end of it, because you learn about everything in life. You're learning about your health, you're learning about money, and like you're learning how to like connect with people, through having sex in the woods or having karaoke. You know what I mean? There's different things where you get to do that doesn't happen over here, and I really wish it did. That was a brilliant conversation. I think we'll wrap up here. But Ryan, your famous question that you ask at the end of every show.
Yes, at the end of every show with our guests, we ask our guests to give 3 actionable things that the audience can take away that would improve their lives, whether that be in health, nutrition, or it's just in general.
Okay.
3 actionable things.
Okay. I will start maybe with like personal. Just never doubt yourself. Just start doing. Even I find it with picking up a book gives me so much inspiration or motivation to start doing whatever else I want. Whatever I was. Try that again. Whatever I want to do. So yeah, just start doing, educate yourself, and just start. I think that's so important. And I know everyone's saying it, but I think it's not said enough. Yeah.
What's interesting about that is we see everyone saying it, but that's because we surround ourselves online by the people who say these things, whereas the majority of people don't. So we see it a lot, but the people who don't surround themselves with that, they probably won't see it at all unless people like ourselves share it. Which is an interesting one.
Yeah. So and then last 2, say with nutrition, food, instead of thinking what can I remove from your diet, think about what you can add to it. So instead of like, oh, I can't eat sweets, sugar, cakes, whatever, think of like, what can you add? So with your meals, focus on, a good guideline is to have 2 or 3 different plant foods on it. So that could be anything from rice, potatoes, quinoa, vegetables, fruits, beans, lentils, anything like that. 2 to 3 of them on your plate is a good guideline to follow. And the last one is to really make sure you get proper sleep and really take the action of do whatever you can to get the best sleep you will get, because it's like Risha literally says that our sleep pattern will determine our longevity and our health. Like when you sleep is when you reboot everything, your system has a rest. There's so much process that goes through during sleep, like you rejuvenate your body. So having proper sleep, quality sleep, long sleep, 7 to 9 hours is like detrimental. It's so important. And as I said earlier, it's like even if you don't get enough sleep, even if you can add another 15 minutes or 5 minutes, start there and then just add more and more. Prioritize your sleep.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Love that. I love that shit. Amazing. Well, that was another brilliant episode on the Chris and Ryan Show. Thank you so much for joining us, Dina.
Thanking you.
I loved speaking to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. And we're going to tag a couple of people down in the link below. There's a couple of people that you went over that we're going to add into the show notes below, so you'll be able to get that. But yeah, thanks again, and we will see everyone in the next show. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Bye-bye.